So good evening to one and all. Before going to the session, one second. Okay. So good evening to one and all. Before starting this session, what we had discussed in the yesterday session? In the yesterday session, we discussed how to install the Python software. The installation of Python software is completed. In that, we have many tools. So, in the yesterday session, I discussed only the installation of IDLE. The installation of IDLE is only discussed. After completion of installation, what we have covered? We covered different modes. We have two modes. One is interactive and another one is script mode. So the two modes of programming in Python. After completion of that one, we move to comments. Comments are the statements for user understanding only. The comments are not executed. Just for user understanding, we discussed two types of comments, single line comment and multi-line comments. And then identifier. What is mean by identifier? A name that is given to either a variable, class, object, function, everything. We have to follow some rules. To give the name, you have to follow some rules. So that is identifier. After completion of this one, so in the identifier, we used one word. The keywords are not selected as identifier. So my next topic is keywords. What is mean by keyword? The reserved words. That means at the time of language development, some words are reserved for some specific purpose. So such words are called keywords. Finally, our last topic in the last session is variables. What is mean by variable? What happens whenever a variable is created? How we allocate the memory? How we assign a value, that is called initialization, and we discuss different types of assignments. That means a single value to multiple variables or multiple values to multiple variables. These are the things that we had discussed in the last session. Now, coming to today's session, day 4, profile. Now, in this session, first we will move to this is data types. This is the one of the important topic. Data type. What is mean by data type? Simply, I will explain very clearly, understand carefully. Data. Data means information. So data type represents the type of information stored in a variable. For example, in the previous program, we discussed one program in the previous session. Addition of two numbers. A is equal to 3, B is equal to 4. I think you remember that one. A is equal to 3, B is equal to 4, right? Here A, B are called variables. Here the variable A holds one value. Variable B also holds one value. Here the data type specifies what is the type of the value. What is the type of the value? Remember, we already discussed one point at the time of Python features. What is that one? Python is dynamically typed language. You remember the meaning? Dynamically typed language. Again, I am repeating. For example, assume if it is a C program. If you want to use three variables, a comma, b comma, see, this is my assumption. My assumption is I want to use three variables, a, b, c. Now, before writing the program, first you have to declare the variable. For example, int is an integer data type. What is the meaning? We will discuss the meaning later. Assume int ABC. That means my first step is declaration. First, you have to declare the variable and then you are allowed to use that variable, right? And at the same time, here A, B, C are of integer data type. What is integer? Ignore right now. So, if they are integer type, throughout the program, A, B, C can hold only integers. If you are given other than integer, it gives an error. So this is C language. But what about in Python? Python is a dynamically typed language. The meaning is no need of declaration. No need to declare the variable. Whenever you require a variable, use the variable. Suppose right now I required variable A. Directly you can use the variable. Okay. Now, what is the data type? Here I know, in C language, I know the data type of A, B, C are integer. Why? Because at the time of declaration, I clearly mentioned these are integer data types. But in Python, no need of any declaration. Then how we know which data type A is, which type is B, which type C? For that, suppose in the program, I assign some value. Generally, this 3 is called integer. So, based on the value that we are assigned, that becomes a particular data type. So, A is equal to 3. So, A becomes an integer data type. For example, B is equal to 3.4. B becomes a float data type. You got the meaning? In Python, based on the value we provided, the type will be assigned automatically. Except to Python, in all the programming languages, first we have to declare the type. But in Python, no need of any declaration. Okay. Now, some of the built-in. What is the term built-in? Built-in is called predefined. The term built-in is called predefined. Predefined in the sense, at the time of language, that is at the time of Python development, some data types are fixed. So built-in is already defined, is called built-in. So these are some of the built-in data types: number, string, list, tuple, set, dictionary. Before going to this one, we are mainly using two functions. The first function name is type. So type of is a function which is used to check the type of variable. For example, a is equal to 3. Now, what is the type of a? I know it is an integer, but you don't know initially. What is the type of a? You don't know. For example, b is equal to 2 plus 3j. You don't know what is the type of b. So, by using this type of function, we check the type of the variable, Clear? Now, second function is id. id function is used to get the address. What is mean by this address? Remember, whenever a variable is created, automatically some memory is allocated. Exactly within your system, some memory is allocated with the reference by A with the value 3. So where this memory is allocated, that is called address. By using this id function, we get the address. So remember these two functions. After completion of at least one data type, we will check these functions. Okay. Now I will move to the number data type. The number. The name specifies numbers in the sense numerical. So these number data types is divided into three types: integer, float, complex. These are technical programming language terms. Coming to mathematical, integers are called whole numbers. For example, 3, 5, 7, a number without any decimal points. Those are called integer numbers. Float is called in mathematical, the real numbers are called technically float data type. So int is a data type, float is a data type. So for example 3.4, 2.3 like this. Finally, the complex. A number is of the form a plus bj. For example, 2 plus 3j. Okay. Now, these are the three numerical, that is number data types. What is a data type? The data type specifies the type of information stored in a variable. Stored in a variable. Now we will move step by step. First, I will move to integer data type in depth. Integer data type. So we already discussed what is integer, to represent whole numbers. For example, see this one, a is equal to 5. Now, by using this function type, what is the use of function? We already discussed the use of type is to know the type of the data. So the type of variable, that is variable A holds which type of value. Okay. Now I will show you the execution. How do you open the command? First you have to go start. Here type IDLE. Type IDLE. So the Python IDLE is open. Click on that one. So this is the IDLE where we are executing our Python. Actually, this is called interactive mode. We directly interact. So assume A is equal to some 3. So I will increase the font size. So now see this one. A is equal to 3. Okay, it is dynamically typed. That is the reason I not declared. Simply by using the function type of A. So A belongs to integer type. A belongs to integer type. Okay. See this one? Integer here. What is class? You know the meaning whenever we entered into the concept of object-oriented programming. So here, remember this one. A is of int type. For example, first I will write down the remaining things also. ID of A, that is what is the address of A. This is, that is at this location the variable A is stored. The variable A is stored. For example, B is equal to 4. Check the type of B. B is an integer variable. B is an integer variable. ID of B. ID of B. So see, change of address. See here, this is stored at this particular, suppose 632. This value is stored at the position 664. Okay, ID function returns the address where the particular variable is stored. Right now, move back. Coming to this integer again, we can represent our integer. Integer means whole numbers. In Python programming, these whole numbers, that is integers, are represented by using 4 ways: decimal format, binary, octal, hexadecimal. These are the 4 ways. Here you can use any way, depending upon your requirement, you can use any way. I will explain each and every way. After completion of our explanation, again we will move back to the execution. First one is decimal. So the name decimal in the sense base 10. So it is the default number system. What is the term default? Default in the sense if you are not specifying any type, by default the form is considered as a decimal number. So you know meaning DEC. DEC in the sense 10. What are the possible digits? 0 to 9. How? So total we need 10 digits. Decimal in the sense total 10 digits. So the possible 10 digits are 0 to 9. Suppose A is equal to 5. This is a decimal number. A is equal to 69. This is a decimal number. Observe here I am not mentioned anything. By default, every number is a decimal number. No need to remember this one. But coming to binary. What is mean by binary? Binary in the sense base 2. Base 2. What are the possible digits? 0 and 1 only. That means we have two digits. The two digits are 0 and 1. For example, A is equal to 11. Here the thing is, A is decimal number or A is a binary number. It leads to confusion. Generally, here each and every digit is in the range of 0 to 9. Each and every digit is in the range of 0 to 9. Based on that one, this is a decimal number. This is a decimal number. For example, consider the binary number. In binary number, each and every digit is either 0 or 1. Only zeros and ones are allowed. So there is a chance of binary number also. You got the point? That is the reason to avoid confusion among different forms. Any binary number is prefixed with 0b, either small b or capital B, whatever it is. If you prefix any number with 0b, then it is called a binary number. Consider the example 0b 1011. This is a valid binary number. How can we say that it is a binary number? A number prefixed with 0b, then only it is a binary number. Here 1 to 1, even though it is prefixed with 0b, it is not a binary number. Why? In the binary number, each and every digit is either 0 or 1 only. But here the digit 2 is existed. So it is invalid. Suppose in this one 0b all the ones. This is valid. You got the difference between decimal and binary. Now move to the third form, octal representation. Oct. What is mean by oct? Oct is called base 8. Base 8. That means the total of 8 numbers. So what are the 8 numbers? Obviously 0 to 7. Again, to avoid the confusion between, for example, again same question. A is equal to 5. Whether the 5 is a decimal number or octal number? 5 is 0 to 9. 5 is between 0 to 7. So 5 satisfies the property of decimal number. 5 satisfies the property of octal number. If any digit between 0 to 7 octal, if any digit between 0 to 9 decimal. So to avoid confusion, the octal numbers are prefixed with 0, O. 0 capital O. You can use anything, no problem. You can use either lower O or upper O. Suppose see this one 0 O, 4. 4 is in the range of 0 to 7. 5. 5 is in the range of 0 to 7. 6. 6 in the range of 0 to 7. Prefixed with 0 O. So this is valid. Here observe each and every digit. Each and every digit. Now, next one. 0, 7, it is okay. 4, it is also okay, but 8. The digit must and should be between 0 to 7. But here we have a number 8. So it is invalid. Remember the thing, if you are prefixed with 0 O in the sense, it is not a number. 0 O. Not O 0. Only 0 O. Okay? Invalid. Now, finally, the last form is hexadecimal format. Hex in the sense 6, decimal in the sense 10, total 16. General logic, suppose, how do you represent a number of 12? If you represent number 12, in system point of view, this is 1, this is 2. It is not considered as 12. It is not considered as a 12. But 16 in the sense we require total 0 to 15 numbers. Total 0 to 15. So 0 to 9 is fine. For example, my value is equal to 10. So it is 1 as separate, 0 as separate. But if you want to represent, you got my point. For example, A is equal to 324. Suppose 312. A is equal to 312. Here, system consider this number as 312. 312. But here my intention is, this is not two-digit number. Suppose here my intention is, this one will be considered as a single number in hexadecimal format. So that is the reason we are using the letters A to F. Why? Because the only digits are 0 to 9. So if you want to represent 10, the instead of 10, write down A, 11, B, 12. See, I think you are not understanding. No problem. I will explain clearly. For example, see this one, 1. It is valid. 4 is valid. Now A. Internally, if you are writing this one, 14103. So system considers 3, 0, 1, 4, 1. 5-digit number. But my intention is, this is a single number. That is the reason the double-digit numbers A, B, C, D, D, E, F. So 13, 14, 15 are represented like this. So this is the hexadecimal representation. Here in this, K is used. The only allowed characters are A to F. And how can you avoid confusion? By prefixed with 0x. By prefixed with 0x. Okay. Now I will show you. After that, no impact. Why? Because, so one question. Here I am getting one question. The question is base 16. Suppose if it is base 8, total 8 numbers. 8 numbers are from 0 to 7. Base 16 in the sense total 16 numbers. 16 numbers in the sense 0 to 15. 0 to 9 we have digits. From 10, yes, from 10 onwards the alphabets are added. 10 is represented as A, 11 is B, 12 C, 13 D, 14 E, 15 F. So 0 to 15 completed. Now I will show you. Move back this one. And okay, before going to this one, I will explain one more point. Then only you will understand this one. I will explain this one. After that, I will move to execution. So what is this one? Conversion. The name specify converting one base into another base. One base into another base. For example, and generally for simplicity, assume a number some 23. For simplicity, I am using a number 23. Generally, is 23 is which type of number? 23 is decimal number. How can you say that? By default, it is a decimal number. For example, if you prefixed with 0, 23, in this case, it is an octal number. Suppose 0x23, in this case, this is hexadecimal number. If you not mentioned anything, by default, it is a decimal number. Now, what is your aim? Convert this decimal number into binary. So first time explain the procedure. Remember, this procedure is not required to you. Okay. Why? Because we already have the predefined functions, but you have to know how to convert. That is the reason I explaining. So what is your first aim? Converting decimal number into binary. The procedure is very simple. Divide 23 repeatedly with binary in the sense, what is the base? Base 2. Simply 2 11s are 22, right? 2 11s are 22. The remainder 1. Write down the remainder here. Actually, this is mathematics, not Python. Okay? 2 5s are 10. So the remainder is 1. 2 2s are 4. The remainder is 1. 2 1s are 2. The remainder is 0. Now there is no number to divide. Why? Because generally 1 is less than 2, no need of any division. Our process stops. Why I am dividing with 2? Your aim is to convert into binary. That is the reason I divide the number into by 2. Now write down the answer in the reverse direction. So what is the answer? 1 0 1 1 1. This is my binary representation for number 23. Binary representation for number 23. You got it? For example, assume a number 53. What is your aim? Convert into octal form. So if you want to convert into octal form, divide with 8. Divide with 8. 8 6 are 48. A remainder is 5. Then stops. So the answer is 6 to 5. Suppose if you consider the large number, divide until you get a remainder. So here the answer is 6 5. Here 53 is base 10, that is decimal number. Actually it is equal to 0 65. 65 is an octal number. In the same fashion, if you divide any number with 16, you get the reminders. You get the reminders. That is hexadecimal number. I will show you, no problem. For example, after conversion, you got meaning. The decimal is converted into binary, decimal is converted into octal, the decimal is converted into hexadecimal. The decimal is converted into hexadecimal. For example, assumes the same number 16 3. 16 3s are 48. Then the remainder is 6. And stop the process. The answer is 36, like this. Now, for example, if it is the binary number, how to convert into decimal? Simply, if you want to convert a binary number into decimal, multiply with 2. So 1 into 2 power 0, 1 into 2 power 1, 1 into 2 square, into 2 cube, into 2 power 4. Understand the point? Here, at the time of converting the decimal into binary, divide with 2. If you want to convert the binary into decimal, multiply with 2 and then perform addition. 1 into 2 power 0, that is 1 into 2 power 0 1 plus 1 into 2 power 1 sorry 2 plus 1 into 2 square 4 plus 0 into 2 cube 0 plus 1 into 2 power 4 16. Now the total answer is 23. You got the answer? Same 23 to binary, binary to decimal. Now I will explain all the things. Finally, you will get the complete conclusion. No problem. Move to this one. Suppose A is equal to 23. What is the type of A? The type of A is integer. All these decimal, binary, octal, hexadecimal are sub part of integer. So by default, the type of A is integer. Suppose B is equal to 0B 11101. Here B is a binary number. B is a binary number. See this one. The type of B is also an integer. I already said whether it is a decimal number, binary, octal, or hexadecimal number, the type is integer. Now, C is equal to 0O53. Now, D is equal to 0x65. Okay. Now understand step by step. Here I will do the conversions. I will do the conversion. First to print a value, I already said in the interactive mode, if you write the variable name, automatically the value is printed A. What is the value of A? I assigned value of A is 23. Fine. B. What is the value of B? 0B11101. But observe the output. Here I given this value. But B, press enter. What the value you are getting? 29. I said that observe that value. What is the meaning? By default, whatever the base you are given, whether binary or octal or hexadecimal number, our output is always in decimal format. So the binary B is automatically converted into decimal format. Suppose print C. Here 0053. This is an octal number. This octal is converted into binary, sorry, decimal. See this one. D. Decimal. Check the answer whether it is right or wrong. This is an octal number. If you want to convert to decimal, so what is the procedure? 3 into, it is octal number. So 3 into 8 power 0 plus 5 into 8 power 1. So 5 into 8, 40 plus 3 into 1, 3. 40 plus 3, 43. You got it? Here also 5 into 16 power 0 plus 6 into 16 power 1. 16 in 6 into 16, 96. 96 plus 5, 101. You got it? So whatever the base you are given, if you give the number, automatically the number is displayed in the decimal format. Case 1 is completed. Now, my case 2 is, if you want to convert the any given, what is case 1? Convert any base into decimal. Remember, here we have 2 points. Here you have to observe 2 points. What are the 2 points? Here I will write down in the comments. The 2 points are convert any base into decimal. This is the first one. For this, no need of anything. Directly, if you write the variable, automatically the conversion is happened. But my second point is convert any base into our required base. For example, if you want to convert the decimal number 23 into binary, simply you can use like this, bin of A. So binary 23 is converted into binary. See this one? If you want to convert into octal, oct of A, so the decimal 23 is converted into octal number. Suppose hexa of A, the 23 decimal is converted into hexadecimal number. Observe the original value is not updated. We are just performing conversions. Hexa A. You got it? If you want to convert the decimal number into binary, use the bin function to convert octal, oct function to convert hex function. So what we discussed? Conversion of the decimal number only. Suppose bin of C. Here C is which type of number? C is an octal number. Now, what is your aim? You want to convert the octal number into binary. It is also possible. Internally, what happens in the sense, octal is converted into decimal, and again decimal is converted into binary. See the result? This is the result. Not only octal, suppose bin of D, the hexadecimal number is converted into binary. For example, hex of C. Hex of C, the meaning is C is an octal number. The octal C is converted into hexa format. See this one. Here we are getting B. Here we are getting B. 2B. Okay. I think you got the meanings. If you want to convert any base into binary by using the bin function, any base into octal by using octal function, any base into x by using hex function. These are the three type conversions for converting one data type into, but not one data type, one format of integer into another format of integer. But always remember, for example, here, how do you write? Suppose generally we know B value is 11. If you are not writing B value as 11, B value as 11, so 211. Here, what is the number? The number is 211. How the system takes? You got it? 0x211. System takes as 1 into 16 power 0 plus 1 into 16 power 1 plus 2 into 16 square. The complete answer is changed. But here, b into 16 power 0 plus 2 into 16 power 1 only. You got it? Instead of writing the two-digit number, why I am using the alphabets? If you are using the alphabet, no problem. Otherwise, the complete meaning is changed. Okay. Now, the integer data type is completed with 4 subparts: decimal, octal, binary, hexadecimal. Now we are moving into the next one. What is the next one? Float data type. So simply, the float type is used to represent real values. The float type is used to represent real values. What is mean by real values? A value with some decimal point. For example, see this one. F is equal to 5.236. This is called a float number. Now, so this is fine. Up to now, this is sufficient. For example, if you have a large number, assume 1.2000000000 and so on. Generally representing this type of number is some wastage of time. Instead of that one, we are representing the numbers in exponential form. Instead of writing this large number, we are using exponential form, or also called as scientific notation. Why it is called scientific notation? Suppose if this is the time, in scientific notation, the fraction of millisecond is also very crucial. So for such one, here f is equal to, we can represent like this, 1.2 E3. What is the meaning of this one? 1.2 into E. E is represented as 10, 3. So 1.2 into 10 cube. For example, this is the answer. So instead of representing this number, I used this simple notation. For example, 1200 is easy. Then what about this number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Instead of writing the 8 digits, I written as 1.2 EH. So automatically what happens? 1.2 into 10 power 8. 1.2 into 10 power 8. Instead of representing the large number, we represented in simple notation. Represented in simple notation. This is the float data type. Now I will show you the float data type. Suppose f is equal to 3.4. Now type of f. See this one, class float. Class float. For example, f is equal to 1.2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now F. See this one. It takes only 1.2. After points, the zeros are not required. The zeros are not required. Suppose if you are using this notation, 1.2 EH. Now observe 1.2 EA. This is 1.2 some zeros or this number of zeros 0.0. Depending upon the requirement, we can select. After point either 10 or after point you can take any number of zeros. Okay. This is the scientific notation. And the last one in numbers is complex data type. The last one is complex data type. What is mean by complex number? If a number is of the form a plus bj, a number of the form a plus bj is called complex numbers. Here, remember some important points. A and B are integers, not a problem. A and B are floating values, not a problem. So A and B both are integers or both are floating, or one is integer, another one is floating. So you can take any combination of integer and floating, not a problem. For example, see this one. A is equal to 2 plus 5j. So in this, 2 is an integer, 5 is an integer. The type of A is complex number. Suppose A is equal to 2 plus 3.4j. Valid. It is an integer, it is floating point number, not a problem. A is equal to 2.3 plus 3j. Here in this, A is 2.3, B is 3. This is the float value, this is an integer value, not a problem. Finally, 2.3 plus 3.4j. This is the float value, this is float value. I think you got the meaning. A and B are any combinations of integers and floatings. Remember, in this, A is called real part. A is called real part and B is called imaginary part. B is called imaginary part. Suppose if you are using floating point numbers, there is no problem. But the problem occur if you use an integer variable. If you are using an integer variable, what is the problem? A plus bj. In the real part, you can use any of the integer, that is whether it is a decimal, octal, or binary or hexadecimal. That means 2 plus 3j, it is allowed. 0b 11 plus 3j, it is allowed. 0o23 plus 3j, it is allowed. 0xab1, this is allowed. That means here the real part is either a decimal number or a binary number or an octal number or hexadecimal number. You can take any of the number. But at the time of execution, whatever the type you are given, all are converted into decimal. All are converted into decimal. You should not take 5.3. At which position? You can take 5.3 also. Remember, here the thing is, this is the real part. 5.3 is the real part. In the real part, if you are using floating point number, not a problem. It is perfectly valid. But the problem is, suppose if you are using integer. If you are using integer, suppose my integer statement is 2 plus 3j. Is there any problem? 2 plus 3j, no problem. But here the question is, the 2 and 3 integers are represented by using decimal format, octal, binary, hexadecimal. There are 4 ways to represent the integer. In the real part, you can represent either a decimal or a binary or octal or hexadecimal. You can represent in any way, not a problem. But in this imaginary part, the integer is must and should a decimal number only. You are not getting the point? I will show you the execution. Suppose minus is not a problem. You can use the positive numbers, negative numbers. But the problem is, other than decimal, remaining binary, octal, hexadecimals are not allowed. You got it? For example, see this one. C is equal to 2 plus 3j. Now type C, perfectly valid. Suppose C is equal to 2.3 plus 3j, perfectly valid. It does not give any error. C is equal to 3.2 plus 3.4 j. See this one? Here, two are integers, not a problem. One floating, one integer, not a problem. Two floats, not a problem. Finally, C is equal to 2 plus 3.4 j. Oh, sorry, typing mistake. C is equal to 2 plus 3.4 j. See this one, not a problem. So you can use any data type. But here my thing is C is equal to 0B111 plus 4j. Here in the real part, instead of decimal number, I used the binary number. It does not give any problem. Whenever you type C, what happens? The binary is automatically converted into decimal. I already showed. If you are given any binary, octal or hexa, by default, they are converted into decimal. See this one? 7 is the decimal representation of this one. Suppose C is equal to 0O123 plus 5j. Sorry, I am typing two zeros. Actually, what I said 0O123 plus 5j. See this one, it also not give any error. Automatically 0, 1, 2, 3 by the octal is converted into decimal. See this one? But what I said is C is equal to suppose 23 plus 0B11J. In the imaginary part, other than decimal number, if you are using floating, not a problem. Suppose if you want to use an integer, you have to use only decimal numbers. See this one? Here I am using a binary number in the imaginary part. It gives an error. Now you got it? And finally, simple point, 2 plus 3j. This is my perfect complex number. Type of C. C is of type complex number. By using two attributes, C dot real. C dot real. We got the real number. What is the real number here? 2. So directly, if you want to get the real number in the complex expression, by using the real attribute, we got the real number. Understand, always complex number is floating. Even though 2 is an integer, observe the output is 2.0. That is by default. Now C dot imag to get the imaginary part. So the imaginary part is 3.0. The imaginary part is 3.0. You got it? So these are three basic data types. Integer, what we have discussed. I will write down. If you have any doubt, please ask me. So my today topic is data type. Under data type, my first
One doubt.
thing is numbers. Yes, please.
What is J represents there in that expression?
Sorry, I'm not getting your point.
What is J represents there in the expression like you showed, right? A plus
The
B,
expression,
J.
what is meaning of J? J, right?
Yeah. Is there any specific
Yes.
representation for that J?
Exactly. Actually, that is a complex number. That is a mathematical notation. So, for example, I will show you. If you are not representing J, C is equal to, if you are writing 2 plus 3, here what happens in the sense, it performs addition. It performs addition. So to represent the complex number, we are using real part, imaginary part. So to clearly mention the imaginary part, mathematically we are using the term J.
Okay, this is a kind of a predefined for the complex.
Exactly, 100% this is the predefined. The data type is completely predefined.
Got it.
Yes? Yes, okay. Now, see. What we discussed, data types. Under data types, I first explain the numbers. So under numbers, the first one is integer. If you have any doubts, so please ask me. I will type what are the things that you are covered. Under integer, what are the things? Decimal representation. Fine. After completion of decimal, binary representation. Binary representation. After that, we discussed octal, and finally hexadecimal. Hexadecimal. Now these are the integer data types. After completion of integer data types, what we covered? The functions. Bin-off is the function to convert any number into binary, and oct-off, the function is used to convert any number into octal form. Hex-off, the number is converted into hexadecimal format. So after completion of this integer, what we covered? Float data type. Simply a number with some decimal point, and after that, the complex data type. The complex data type. So in the numbers, in the data type, the first we discussed two functions. The type of, which is used to check the type of a particular variable. Idea of function, to get the address of a variable. Now, I will explain one more data type, and that is also the basic data type. What is one more? The basic data type is Boolean. After completion of this one only, you will complete the basic data types. Boolean. So Boolean is called true or false. Boolean in the sense to represent true or false. Suppose if you are using C language, generally in C language, a non-zero number is represented as true. A non-zero number is represented as true. Zero is represented as false. Where? In C language. But coming to Python, instead of that, we have directly true and false. Two Boolean data types are available. Suppose directly you can assign the value a is equal to true. What is the type of b? Obviously the type of b is bool. Internally what happens? True is 1, false is 0. This is internally, this is not visible to us. Internally this is happened, but you can assign true, false. I will execute that one also. I will execute that one also. Suppose A is equal to true. Now check type of A. The type of A is Boolean. See, BOOL. INT into float to complex Boolean. Suppose B is equal to false. Type of B, Boolean. Here you have to observe one point. What is the point? Observe T is in capital, F is also in capital. So for example, C is equal to true. See this one, observe the color. It gives an error. It gives an error. Name true is not defined. So the Boolean data types, the true and false, the starting letter is uppercase. The starting letter is uppercase. And these are predefined. I already said data type is predefined. Check whether it is predefined or not. Keyword dot KW list. See this one, where here observe false. Here observe true. These are predefined. That is the reason you have to use F and T are capital. F and T both are uppercase. These are the basic basic blocks of data type. In the next session, we will move to some advanced data types. Remember, the advanced data types are string. These are things: string, list, tuple, set, dictionary. All these data types are built by using these numbers. Remember, the data types are built by using the basic data types. By using the basic data types. Okay. Now, up to now, if you have any doubt, please ask. Boolean is to check whether the condition is true or false. 100%. Boolean is data type. No, no, Boolean is not a function. 100% Boolean is data type. 100% Boolean is a data type. Yes, only number is completed. Actually number and Boolean is also completed. Generally, the Boolean is not comes under number. Actually, Boolean in the internally it is a number, but externally it is not a number. True or false. Just Boolean is true or false. Yes. Yes. Anything else? Exactly. After completion of this, most probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will within 2 days we will complete all these data types. Once the data types are completed, I begin how to read input from the user, how to print output in the display. After completion of these topics, most probably 3 or after completion of, on the worst case, 4 sessions, we are in a position to write the program. So after completion of 3 to 4 sessions, we will start our practice also. Daily, I give the practice programs. We have to write the practice programs, and at the same time, you have to submit. If you have any doubt, please ask the programs also, not a problem. That is our goal. Yes, Saturday, Sunday is not available. Okay, tomorrow is the last day. Every week, tomorrow is the last day. If you have any doubt, meanwhile, suppose you are going to some place, suppose a company, practice Saturday and Sunday. Comes the doubt along with comes the doubt on Monday. We will try to clarify 100%. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt within the same session, okay, you will ask the doubts, not a problem. If everything is clear and if you are good, if you want to continue, okay, can I close the session or anything else? If anything else, please unmute yourself and ask the doubts. Okay, I will close the session. Thank you. Thank you very much.